is Gert Bettens.
Hi Gert, it's Jason Curtis speaking from South Africa. How are you?
I'm very well, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. It's good to speak to you.
Yes.
I have just received about a few days ago an advanced listening copy of Cocoon Crash, and excellent album. Congratulations on that.
Oh, thank you very much. Thanks. I'm glad you like it.
Good, good. I know you obviously are short on time, so I'll keep it short and sweet. What interests me especially about the band is that you shot into sort of the spotlight, into with obviously not an Addict, from Paradise in Me, but in Europe. But more importantly, it worked for you in America. Did that surprise you?
Yeah, actually we were really surprised because we weren't released at first in America with Paradise and Me, so we were still our European tour was coming to an end.
Right.
And then all of a sudden we heard the news that Not an Addict was a big radio hit over in the States. People played it on K-Rock, which is the alternative radio in Los Angeles.
Yes.
And it was already a while ago since we've been doing this little tour with Alanis Morissette, so we didn't really expect anything to happen anymore.
Right.
So we were already kind of getting ready to start recording or start working on a Cocoon Crash when we got the news that we might be in America for another year.
Yes.
So that's probably why there's also some time in between the release of Paradise and Me and Cocoon Crash.
Right.
Because eventually we turned out touring the whole of last year in the United States.
Yes.
Which was of course a good thing.
Yes, because because you actually spent 3 years in total actually touring that album, did you not?
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, we started the tour in Europe. There's a lot of European festivals the first summer.
Mm-hmm.
Then we were planning on doing the same thing afterwards. Then Alanis took us,
yes.
and yeah, there was about a year added to it.
Gee, it's a long time, eh?
Yeah, it is a long time.
Now,
like I say, I was a little bit surprised at first because of America showing this sudden interest, but then again, it's such an advantage to go to America that I felt really grateful to be on the road for another year. I didn't really mind.
Sure. I'm sure you didn't mind us, because it's not the easiest territory in the world that, for a European band to conquer.
No, it isn't.
Mm-hmm. But now, in recording the new album, were you aware that you now sort of obviously had this combined US and European audience that that would be looking out for this album, and did that influence the way that you recorded the album at all?
I don't think it really influenced the way we recorded it, but we were aware of it, that's for sure. And there was also a little bit of pressure, and you know that certain people are waiting for that album, and you know the preferences of certain of people in the States being different from people in Europe.
Sure.
But while you're writing a song and while we're working on it with the whole band, you just try very hard not to pay attention to those kind of things at all, because it's really not a good thing for the creative process. I think that you're just focusing on markets instead of on creativity and soul.
Sure.
So yeah, that's what we tried not to do. Definitely, that's to think about that.
Mm-hmm. And what's interesting for me is Gil Norton. How did that relationship actually happen? Did it happen because of what happened in America, or was it? Had you intended to use someone like Gil Norton as producer on the next album?
Well, us being a little bit successful in Europe and in America definitely helped to get somebody like Gil Norton, because when you're just a very small band, a man like Gil Norton probably wouldn't pay attention to you.
Absolutely.
So we were a bit lucky by having a little bit of success, and we definitely just wanted to try somebody else after Jean Blaute. He was the Belgian producer for the first two albums. We were really happy with him, but we wanted to go for something completely different. And then when we heard of A&R persons and of people in the record company that Gil Norton was one of the options. We were so excited that we wanted to meet him right away. So he came to a concert in Germany. He really liked the show, and he also turned out to be a very nice guy.
Right.
And in the studio too, the way we worked with him was a little bit different than for the first two ones. But that's probably because we also changed as musicians. We kind of stood very open for Gil to change if he wanted to change, and to give suggestions, or to adjust minor details if he wanted to. And that's the way it worked very well, apparently. We weren't really open to that in the past, because maybe we were a little bit obnoxious when we started, I don't know. And so now we just said, well, if you feel like you should change something, please do. And I think the single "Believe" is probably a very good example for that.
Yes.
Because it was just, like all our songs, a very small, fragile acoustic thing that lasted for, I think, about a minute and a half.
Yes.
And then Gil suggested, well, add another verse to it, and then this pacey bass drum was added to it, and Eric's bass and Jan's guitar, and everything came together.
Right.
That's a very good example of how the way Gil worked with us.
Right.
And I like the result too.
Yes, because with the fact that you had broken into America and had and enjoyed the success you did with your tours, and obviously with the single, did that give you sort of an added confidence when you went back into record Cocoon, or was it more sort of did you feel a pressure due to the expectation obviously of now having a bigger audience?
I think it's probably a combination of both. I think we did feel more or less, I think, more confident than before recording Paradise and Me, because we did have a little bit of response with Paradise and Me. So we felt as if we really could do it, and not a lot has changed since then except for the bass player, and we still thought we were still writing okay songs.
Right.
And so we felt pretty confident that this would be the best one so far. On the other hand, it is true that so many people doing things for you, and me having met so many different people all over the world of different record companies, you know that all those people probably have something in mind of the third album, and I know that if you put all the opinions together, you get a lot of different opinions.
Absolutely.
So you think about that, and sometimes it becomes a little bit chaotic by what do people expect from me, and you try, like I said before, you try not to pay attention to it at all, but sometimes it's hard, because I remember somebody walking in the studio in Brussels and telling us that we didn't have our second Not an Addict yet. No. And that's the kind of thing you want to hear.
Yeah, that's...
Especially not when you're already in the studio.
Absolutely not. No, you don't want to hear that. No, because as I say, I mean, I'm sure as I say, the relationships in the band as well. I mean, obviously with with your sister as well. You've had to, I'm sure, you've had to bond and be a lot closer to get through, all the attention and expectation from people, based on the success of the album.
Yeah, to me it's very, very important, especially since we're a live band and we spend so much time on the road, that we're a very close bunch of people, that we're friends, and that I can do this together with my sister, who I think I understand best in the whole world, and I think she knows who I am too.
Yes.
We've pretty much been through the same thing from scratch to here, and I think that's a big advantage, to have somebody who really understands you.
Yes.
When something happens without having to say too much. Sometimes she knows what I'm going through just by looking at me, and it's also very important to laugh about a lot of things. We kind of share the same sense of humor, so I think that's not to be underestimated.
Sure. Yeah, because I'm sure you can't take too much of it seriously, as much as it's important, but otherwise you'd probably go out of your mind.
Yeah, definitely, because it's really not that important.
Sure.
We do try to take our music seriously while writing songs and while recording it, but afterwards we don't think it will change the world.
Well, it's definitely changing a few 100,000 people's opinion, which is good.
But yeah, that's true.
But now, sort of in your opinion, Gert, what makes Kay's Choice what it is? Is it a combination of things, or is it the voice, is it the melody, the lyric? What are you doing differently that say others aren't, that has now given you this edge?
I'm not sure. I thought about this a couple of times when people asked me before, and it's probably the most important thing is definitely my sister's voice.
Yes.
Which is probably quite unique. And I think music-wise, it's probably a combination of both what Sarah is doing and what I'm doing, what we're both composing separate from each other, and the way our musicians have their own personal input. They all listen to very different kind of music. Sarah knows what kind of songs I write, but when she writes one, it's always a little bit different. Our lyrics are usually completely different. Sarah's really explicit, straightforward, is where I'm as honest, but in a completely other kind of way, probably more abstract, less understandable kind of way.
Okay.
And I think it's the combination of extremes also, like feeling that some very intimate lyrics only need a very intimate setting, like just a guitar or something.
Yes.
And on the other hand, you have this drum loop explosions with a distorted guitar that's necessary to put other to arrange another kind of feel or another kind of lyrics. And I think it's just being open to whatever serves the soul of the music is the most important thing we're about, and maybe not every band thinks like that, although I know a lot of bands who do the same thing. So
well, successful
maybe
bands.
We're just lucky.
Yeah, but successful bands, you see. But so, in writing the new album, the band has been quoted as saying that it's the next, or rather you wrote about it being the next level, about losing innocence. Is this sort of true of the band and you because of what has happened to you over the last 3 years?
You mean writing about the loss of innocence, for example?
Well, as I say, obviously the American experience must have had an influence on you writing lyrics for the new album and putting the songs together. But it's referenced that the songs talk about losing innocence. That this is now the next level for you. How would you sum up where Kay's Choice are at the moment with Cocoon Crash?
I think I was already writing about the topics I still tend to touch a couple of years ago, and probably the way we've been living the last couple of years on tour has emphasized a couple of things, are hopefully made us a little bit more wise or something. I don't know, and probably it did mature our lyrics a little bit. That's what we both hope, for sure.
And do you think that radio and press will embrace Cocoon as much as they did on the last album, or do you foresee sort of a more critical, less forgiving time, where it'll be that more will be expected of you from this album, because of the success that you had with the last album?
I think it kind of depends from country to country, because I was always told that the third album is the hardest one.
Yes, difficult.
People are ready to criticize it before it's released.
Yes.
But so far, the album is not released in Belgium either, but so far we have really good responses from the interviews we did with the Belgian press.
Good.
They all got the advanced CDs, and they told us they really liked it. So
great.
Unless they're all lying, I think it's looking pretty good.
Yeah, because the funny thing is that any band that brings out brings out something that does very well in America and obviously in your own territories as well. When you bring out the next thing, then they say, okay, well, we're not going. Paradise Lost was great, and they didn't sit there and pick it apart. Whereas now they sort of look at you as being this priority act with a bigger following. So now the expectation from the press and obviously also from the listeners is greater.
Yeah, that's true. I think so.
And will you be? Are you going to be going back on the road again and touring extensively again with this album?
Yeah, we're starting our tour in our home country in Brussels.
Yes.
In the Botanique, the 19th of April.
Right.
And we're going to do a couple of dates in Amsterdam, Paradiso.
Great.
We're going to tour Germany, do the Lilith tour.
Yes.
In the States.
Yes. Yeah, that's a fantastic
I'm
tour.
really looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's
it's
fantastic.
A beautiful festival.
Yes, I'm actually going to try and catch that in June because I'm going to be in the States at that time. So I'm actually
really?
Yeah, I'm hoping to see that in. I think when it gets to Los Angeles, I'm going to try and catch it.
I think we'll be there.
Yes.
On that lap of the tour, we're going to do 2 weeks, and I think it's going to be West Coast.
Wonderful. Well, great. That actually makes my trip all the more worthwhile, which is great. Yeah. Gert, if I could ask you one last favor, if I may. I'm going to be putting this interview into print media, but I'm also going to be putting it out on a college station. So there'll be about 360,000 people that'll hear the interview over the next few weeks. Would you be able to do an ID for me?
Of course. What's the name of the station?
Okay, it's all that you need to do is the name of the show, because what I do is I syndicate. This will be syndicated to various stations, various college stations throughout South Africa. So it's the name of the show is The Cutting Edge. It's very cliched, but that's what I do. But if you could perhaps just say hi, this is Gert from Cage Choice, and you're listening to The Cutting Edge.
Cutting Edge.
That's correct.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, this is Gert from Cage Choice calling all the way from Belgium, and you're listening to The Cutting Edge.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that.
Oh, you're very welcome.
And so congratulations once again on the album.
Thank you.
Fantastic. As I say, the album was actually Paradise and Me was released only late, sort of last year because of the success it had in the States. But this album, this album is a big priority for Sony in South Africa. So I'm hoping that we can get enough interest from it that you guys could actually come out here and play at some point, which I think would be great.
That would be great. It would be an honor to come tour in your country. It's
lovely.
Beautiful.
Thank you very much, and good luck with it all. I hope it all goes very well, and perhaps I can catch up with you when I'm in America.
Okay, maybe see you there.
Thank you very much, Gert.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye now.
Bye.